Hey friends, I think we are streaming live now. It's Peggy Hall back with you from thehealthyamerican.org. And I titled this video, "This is what you need to hear today," because it's really what I need to hear today as well. Today is Monday and I'm streaming live, and I would love to hear where you're tuning in from. As I prepare for my videos during the week, I come to you live Monday through Friday. I also have a second channel called Living Swell with Peggy Hall, and that's where I offer words of encouragement to help you keep your head above the waves in these stormy seas of life. And as I prepare for the videos that I'm going to research and bring to you during the week, I am bombarded by headlines and information. I've got information about the Catholic Church that is now actually financing the gender mutilation surgeries for adolescents. I can do a whole video on that. I've got a video about the Canadian carbon tax. Could that be what is actually fueling the Canada fires? And I'll be doing a video for you on that. I've got information about the men dressed as women, outrageously, because I've never seen any women that look like this, reading to them. I don't even like to utter the words that these individuals call themselves, and then they go into the public libraries to read to children. That's happening in Laguna Beach, California. I would love to tell you about that. I would love to tell you about the bill in the California Assembly, which is all about taking children away from parents if the parents are not going to go for the gender mutilation surgery. I've got information about different medical centers around the country that have the gender affirming care for adolescents. And first of all, you're not affirming their gender, you're actually denying it. So if you're going to affirm it, wouldn't you affirm the way that God created them? So I have all these video topics that I'm bombarded with on a daily basis that you lovely, healthy Americans are sending to me. And there is so much that I want to expose in terms of the lies that you've been told about our world, our physical world, about CO2, and how you think, maybe not you, my lovely, healthy Americans, but those who think that is a harm for our planet. And that is the bottom card in the deck of cards that we need to pull out, because that is at the root of the oppression that we are experiencing right now. So what I'm saying by way of this introduction is that there is so much that I want to cover for you and with you and share, but I'm not going to do any of that today because there's something else that you need to hear today. And I'm going to share that with you in just a moment. Let me know what you think that is in a comment. And I am first going to share with you a message, which you also need to hear today. And this is from one of my lovely sponsors. I'm going to share my screen, and we are over at ketowithpeggy.com. Many of you have been taking this because I've been telling you about it for some time. And you know, Americans' motivation for fitness has never been higher than this summer. Did you know that a shocking 42% of Americans have stated that they want a beach body, many of whom are switching to a keto diet to reach these health goals? Let me know if you're on the keto diet. You know, you don't have to follow the keto diet to reach those goals. What you can do is take this amazing multi-collagen keto powder. And actually, this is it. Yes, collagen may be the closest thing. Now, I'm not quite sure why it's coming up as collagen, because normally I'm talking about the keto powder. So let me just give you the message. And what I have for you is that I want you to try it today. You're going to receive up to 51% plus several other free bonuses. It's actually ketowithpeggy.com is where I want you to go. And this is one of the most popular keto supplements on the market. It helps give you the benefits of elevated ketones, even without following the highly restrictive keto diet, which means you don't have to eliminate carbs. And it's especially formulated to help boost metabolism, control your appetite, and heighten your energy levels. So again, I want you to go to ketowithpeggy.com. You can order today. Click the link below and get several free bonuses and up to 51% off. Friends, what I want to talk to you about today is encouragement. I just finished an amazing interview with Dr. Samantha Bailey. Let me share my screen and I'll show you her YouTube channel. You probably have heard of her because she's been an authoritative voice from the very beginning about all of the hogwash, the hoopla, and all of the, as I say, the cooties hogwash that's been sloshed all over us. This is Dr. Sam Bailey. She is brilliant. She is a medical doctor, although she gave up her MD license in the country of New Zealand. In fact, she's been sued by the medical board there for speaking the truth. And she's got a book here that I hope you will order. I don't even want to say the words here on this channel, but I just got off an hour-long interview with Dr. Sam, and I'm going to be airing that interview with her probably in a week or two from now, because she is one of the voices, along with me and many others, who are speaking out about the end of, can I say it? COVID. There, I said it. I have hardly uttered that word in the last 3 years because of the censorship. There is a program, and I will have a link for you below, that you can watch absolutely free. And it's hours and hours and hours of content. You can pick and choose whether you're interested in the science, in the medicine, in the overall strategy of the New World Disorder and how they slosh this all over us, or you may be interested in the topics that I'm going to be covering in terms of your rights and the laws that protect those rights, and how you need to learn about those laws and defend yourself against these criminals. So in this conversation that I had with Dr. Sam, we talked a lot about how she got involved and how she put her life, her reputation on the line to speak the truth about cooties. And as we started to wrap up the interview, and offline, we chatted a little bit more, and we realized that it all comes down to you either live in fear or you live in faith. And I'm just using that word. It doesn't not have to have a religious connotation. You either are going to live in truth or you're going to live in the deception, and you're either going to live in reality or you're going to live in this false reality and the narrative that the evildoers are trying to push. And it also dawned on us as we were talking that encouragement and not following what the mainstream wants you to follow is one of the key tools that you can develop, and one of the techniques that you need to employ to actually keep your head above, as I call it, above the waves in the stormy seas of life. Everything that's going on in the headlines. And I cover a lot of the headlines because I want to help you develop your critical thinking skills. I want you to look at those Canadian fires and not just agree with the headline. I want you to dig deeper. I want you to look at the California fires and not just take at face value what you're shown and then be told that, oh, the fires are burning hotter than ever. Well, no, there's such a thing as physics, and fire burns at a predictable degree, depending on where it is, just like water freezes predictably. You can't start changing that. Well, you know, they're trying to change everything, including how they're born. But the point is this: all of those headlines in the mainstream merry-go-round media are intended to attract your attention, to direct your attention, and to distract you away from what is truly important in your life. And I want to know from you what is truly important in your life. I want you to spend more time doing what is important in your life. I want you to spend less time, yes, on YouTube watching videos. I want every hour that you're spending watching a YouTube video, I want you to spend 2 hours doing something productive, something constructive. Remember, evil can only destroy, and it is destroying your morale. It's destroying your well-being. When I was thinking today, oh my gosh, which of these horrible headlines am I going to cover? I thought, I'm not going to cover any of them because I'm falling right into their clutches, right into their evil plans of sucking the joy and the life and the enthusiasm and the optimism and the cheerfulness out of life. Those things still exist, my friends. There is beauty, there is joy, there is goodness in the world. Now, many years ago, when I was very heavily involved in animal rescue in terms of boots on the ground, I'm still very involved in terms of fundraising and networking. But I was in New Orleans in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina 18 years ago. I know it's 18 years because my little kitty cat just turned 18. And that is one of the many animals that I rescued from that horrible, what I now know, intentional weather warfare, that at the time people were just astonished that it could be so horrible, thinking that it was natural. But at that time, it was so devastating to see the destruction, the decimation. I was side by side with Marines who had served in the Iraqi war, and they told me that this looked like a a war zone in terms of all of the destruction in New Orleans. I had a special pass that I could use to get into the city to go do the animal rescue. And it was absolutely horrifying, unspeakable images that I was confronted with, and things that I had to do in order to rescue these animals. And that could have broken me, but I held on to something. I held on to a truth, which was that many of us, hundreds, if not thousands of people, had come from all over the United States to New Orleans in order to help rescue those animals, long after people had fled their homes and were told that they couldn't come back. So there were thousands of us that were trying to do something good in the face of evil. And I see that right now in terms of what's going on. When I look at the gender mutilation, and I look at the decimation of our environment in terms of the aerosol spraying and the others, when I look at the intentionally set fires, when I look at what is being promoted in the schools, when I look at what is being promoted in our legislature in California, it absolutely makes my head spin. But I am not going to be of any value to you if I continually flip my lid and if I get caught in the spin cycle. So intentionally today, I took a break from those headlines. I will be covering them in terms of critical thinking, always with a view of what can be done about this. And today, the what can be done about this is for you personally to take a break from the hogwash. The most important thing is for you to spend time in your life doing what brings you joy. And maybe that is being of service to others. Maybe it is spending more time with your family. Maybe it's trying out a new recipe, or maybe changing up your home decor. This is my virtual living room. I really like it. I don't like the rabbit hutch behind me, but I really like the living room. Maybe you want to learn a new language. Maybe you want to spend time in your garden. Maybe you want to spend time with new freedom fighter friends that you've met, but not just complaining about what's going on, but taking a break from that. Friends, it is the most important thing that I can tell you today. And I want to look at your comments, and I would love to hear from you. Number one, what would you like me to cover out of all these headlines that I mentioned? But number two, what is it that you do on a daily basis that gives you a break from all of this hogwash? How are you standing strong, still breathing life back into liberty? How are you sharing the truth without neglecting other parts of your life? I did a video that I will link for you at the end of this video and also below, called Informed or Obsessed. And it is one of my most favorite videos, because in that I talk about being aware of what's going on, but how do you know whether you've crossed that line to being obsessed? And I'll summarize it here for you, but I would love for you to watch that as well. And let me know in a comment what you think that line is between being informed and being obsessed, and how do we walk that line? So for me, if I find that I am neglecting other parts of my life, if I'm not doing the laundry, if I'm not going grocery shopping or doing the dishes, and of course, my husband, we're a team, we do all of this together, but if I am being remiss in those areas, if I'm not spending as much time with my loved ones or doing things that I enjoy, such as, for example, gardening, walking, swimming, riding a bike, spending time with my animals, staying in touch with loved ones, writing thank you notes to my lovely, healthy Americans, then I know if I'm neglecting those areas of my life, of my own self-care, of taking time really just to even think, like go on a walk and think, not even listening to podcasts or anything, but literally spending time away from all of the inputs, I know that I can be addicted to this little black box. And that's another video that I'm going to do for you about the black screen and how that is a symbol, not only a symbol, but the reality of grabbing our attention. So I know that when I'm spending too much time there, when the first thing I want to do is check my emails, I know that now I've crossed that line of being informed to being obsessed. So I consciously think about how I'm spending my time and working in more time. I actually had some time off this weekend. And one of my sayings that I'm known for is that I spend all day, every day, day in, day out, supporting you, fighting for you. And it's true, but I can only do that if I have some time to reflect, to refresh and renew. Along those lines, for the last several months, My husband and I have had the beach church on hiatus. God called us into a period of rest and renewal. I had my own health challenges that, of course, I am a pureblood, not a human pincushion whatsoever. I've never participated in one iota of any of the hogwash, but brought on by stress of the lawsuit, stress of another one is not sleeping very well, staying up all night, trying to research and work and keep all the emails going and the newsletter and the videos and so forth. And so many of you lovely, healthy Americans wrote to me and sent me messages via email and here online saying, Peggy, you need to take time. We'll still be here. YouTube will still be here. The newsletter will still be here. So I really took that to heart. And you may have noticed that, my newsletters, instead of every single day, they come out maybe 2 to 3 times a week. And the Substack comes out weekly, maybe twice a week. Maybe I skip a week. And that's okay. And I want you to feel that you can give yourself permission to take a break from all of the hogwash as well. The most important thing that I can tell you is to make sure that you are balancing your life. And the other thing I want to leave you with is this: the way that you live your life, not anyone else. It doesn't matter really what those in the Pride community are doing. It doesn't really matter what Target is doing. It doesn't really matter what Bud Light is doing. What matters is what you are doing. And if you are going to live your life aligned with truth, and if you are going to make choices that match your values and your principles, that is what matters. If you personally decide that you're never going to shop at Target or go to that library or support that university or drink that beer because of their values and principles, that is the most important thing that you can do. Now, I'm grateful that I have my healthy American family here, and I love to bring you these videos. I'd love to connect with you. I'd love to encourage you so that you know that you are not alone in what can be a very crazy world. But I want you to look at how awesome the world is, how beautiful it is. I want you to find those times of joy. I want you, just like I thought about all of the animal rescuers that came to New Orleans, I focused on that more than all of the destruction. That would have just broken me to do that. And friends, that's exactly what the evildoers want. They want to break you down. They want to wear you down psychologically. They want to strip you of your sleep, of your everyday activity, so that you're riveted by the next headline. How can I say this? Well, because I see the emails that, and I'm grateful for the emails that you're sending me, but sometimes there's a sense of desperation, a sense of frantic obsession that goes along with these. Like, have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you seen this? And it is important that we're informed, but not obsessed. Do not let these tyrants steal your joy. Let me take a look at your comments here, friends. So grateful to have you on board. I see by the views that I had on the Canadian fires that is something that you're interested in. And I did make this connection between the Canadian carbon tax that they are trying to push. It's a secondary tax on top of the tax. And wouldn't it be interesting and convenient if the fires just somehow smooth this through a little bit? So I definitely will be bringing you more about that. And I'm just taking a look at your comments here, friends. Thanks also to Valerie and Rhonda for being on board as our moderators. And Kathy says that she was obsessed and now she is informed. She lives in California. It's an easy place to be obsessed because the oppression is rampant. She's gardening, hiking, canning, made some loquat jam. That sounds amazing. She's prepping. Now that is something that is very, like it's a positive action. It is practical and it's positive, and it keeps you moving ahead in terms of I'm doing something for my future. And so bravo, Kathy, I really applaud you on that. And let's see, somebody wants to know if I would interview Dave Rubin. Yes, I'd like to ask him why he has a globe on his shelf behind him. That's my first question for him. Why does he have a globe? There are many people that have globes in their backgrounds. I'm not quite sure if that's just a coincidence. I've seen some videos where they have like 2 or 3 globes behind them. Are they trying to send a message? You tell me. You'll never see a globe in my background. All right. Swiss Chalet, they write the news 5 years ahead of time. And, I think they are also willing to modify if they see that people aren't going along for something. They'll like pluck another item off the shelf, another news headline, and go in that direction. Roxy is also in California. Angela is in Portland, and the oppression is rampant there as well. And yes, there are so many things to cover here, friends. And I'm grateful that you are informed. I'm grateful that you are not asleep. And I'm grateful that you're not woke. I'm grateful that you are awake to what is going on. And I want to leave you with this very encouraging thought. I believe that things are actually going to get better. And here's why. So many of us are now awake. We are now informed. We are now connected. We are educated. We are taking action. So many of the evil deeds that they were trying to perpetrate and impose and inflict upon the Californians, even some of those have been rolled back in terms of some of the bills that they were trying to push through. So I want you to know that your actions matter. And I want you to know that those evildoers, those hogwashers, those puppet masters, the New World Disorder pushers, they will never get through and get away with what they did in the beginning when people were asleep. I also want to just leave on one other note about the WHO. I've done videos about this in the past. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? If you give it attention, you're giving it power. No one can take your power away. It's up to you individually, not the Senate, not the president, not the governor. It's up to you to stand up against the oppression. It's up to you to take your children out of these public and even the private schools. It's up to you to choose where you're going to spend your money. It's up to you to choose where you're going to live. It's not up to the WHO. Stop giving it power. I've done several videos on this. I don't plan on doing any more because I don't want to give it power. Your energy goes where your attention goes. So today, my attention is on living my life free from the oppressors, free from the evildoers, free from those that are seeking to destroy and destruct. I want to create, and I'm creating a better life every day. Thanks everybody for being on board. I will see you back here tomorrow. We'll dive into some of those topics, but make sure that you keep that balance.